checking if I'm audible also.
Good evening. You're audible.
The guest will be
But,
joining now.
but you have to increase the volume, I guess.
Okay. I spoke to both of them. They will be joining just to check. And can we give them about 45 minutes, sir?
Each.
Yeah.
I don't have I have no problem.
Okay. So that we get about, they were asking like according.
So will you be okay, shall we do this? So once you will you also introduce them and then also tell them how to go about? How do we plan to go about?
Me? Yeah, we
Yeah.
can do that. Yes.
Okay. So I'll welcome you to introduce the moderator and the speakers and also tell us how to go about.
Yes. Yeah. They'll be joining now. You just see if it sounds all good.
Yeah. I just spoke to Paul, sir. The audio was clear. The video was clear.
No, the speakers, both the
Yeah.
guests.
No. I'm just informing you also. I spoke to Paul, sir, and his audio and video was fine.
Okay.
Grammarly can help you write quickly and confidently, so you never have to slow down at work. Stay on top of emails, documents, and more without having to stay put. Whether you're working on your computer or on your phone, Grammarly provides.
Today I will show you how you can fix the problem with the black screen in OBS Studio when you try the display capture function. Hey, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Daniel and I'm a daily vlogger, and the whole series and my and but now we have new like it's supposed to with the GeForce graphics dump into my laptop. In OBS the integrated graphics card, and basically what it says that you can do. Sometimes the easiest way to fix this is right click and then go to transform and to fit to screen. You see the red line outline, but in my case that was not a problem. So the easiest way is right click on your OBS studio. You will see an option run with graphics form and to fit to screen. You see the red line outline, but in my case that was not a problem. So the easiest way is right click on your OBS studio. You will see an option run with graphics processor. And now you have two options. You can either use the high performance NVIDIA processor or the integrated graphics card. And basically what it says is you change which graphic cards you want to use for that program. And in my case, even high performance wasn't working, and also the integrated graphic cards wasn't working. But maybe in your case, it's already working with that. The solution that worked on my machine, go to Windows, right click on Windows, choose System, and then search for Graphics Settings. And under Graphics Settings, you can choose a classic app and then search for OBS Studio. Normally when you install OBS, it's under Program Files and OBS Studio and then the 46 bin, and this is the application. You open that. And also the integrated graphic cards wasn't working. But maybe in your case, it's already working with that. The solution that worked on my machine, go to Windows, right click on Windows, choose System, and then search for Graphics. That worked on my machine, go to Windows, right click on Windows, choose System, and then search for Graphics Settings. And under Graphics Settings, you can choose wasn't working, and also the integrated graphic cards wasn't working. But maybe in your case, it's already working with that. The solution that worked on my machine, go to Windows, right click on Windows, choose System, and then search for Graphics Settings. And under Graphics Settings, you can choose a
Ravi sir, good evening. Am I audible, Dr. Rekha?
I think you can just check with Marian ma'am also. She's there.
Yeah.
And if
Also, if Mr. Ravi Nair, if he's, will ask sir to also
yes,
check his
sir,
mic.
I think both of them are there. Mr. Ravi and also Professor Jagmohan Singh are there.
No, I think you have to increase the volume on your system.
On my system.
Yeah, it's not, it's feeble, at least when I hear
Okay.
here.
No, in the meantime, we can check with the speakers before we start.
Yeah. We'll do that. Yeah. Marian ma'am, if you can check the audio mic once.
I think she has just put in the chat there. She's having trouble with the mic, so I've asked her to join from the other app, phone app, and she'll speak.
Wonderful. Okay.
If possible, can you make her as a presenter instead of attendee? Then she would be able to unmute.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gave an
You
option
can send her
as
an invite. Send her an invite. Let Marianne join again.
yeah. Now they can unmute themselves. I have enabled that option.
Jaren, what you can do is, except for
I think only yes.
the people who are going to speak, you can
Yes, sir.
mute others.
Okay, sir. Yeah, if Charles can make them the presenters, we can make
Yeah,
the
except for
audio.
the
Yeah.
presenters, all the others can be muted. Otherwise, there would be a big mess up, and then there will be background noises.
Yeah. We'll only unmute them during the question answer sessions. Okay.
Yes.
So if Ravina,
Hello, can you hear me?
yes, ma'am. Yeah, you're audible. Thank you.
Okay, sure.
Ravina, sir, if you're there, if you can check your mic. Jagmohan sir, can you hear me?
I can.
Sir, can you also, we will check the compatibility of video and audio. I think the audio is clear, sir. Thank you very much. Good evening, sir.
Very good evening. Very good evening to you and everybody else.
Professor, we can see you, but Ravi is not to be seen. Yeah.
I think Ravi sir also is here.
Yes. I think we can
I
start.
can see in the attendance.
Yeah, we have nearly 250 participants.
Now we'll check Ravi sir's compatibility once, sir, then we'll go ahead.
Yeah.
Jaren sir, he is on the meeting. I think the video we cannot see. If he can just turn on the video, we can do a test quickly. He is on the meeting.
Yeah, I mean, we need to hear his audio if it's working.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, Ravi.
Yes, sir.
Not
Yes,
very
sir.
clear.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good
Yeah,
evening.
very good evening, all of you.
So I request all the participants to mute your mic. We shall begin the program very soon.
AQ dot S for
Jaren sir, I think we should start. Everybody is here in the meeting. Jaren
So
sir?
a warm welcome to everyone for this national level webinar on asserting democratic rights. At the outset, I invite Madam Mary Ann to invoke the blessings of God as we begin this webinar.
Good evening, everybody. Let us close our eyes in prayer. Let us reflect on the world around us and ask for the gift of tolerance, discernment, and to appreciate others because of our personal and cultural differences. Let us pray that our leaders be driven by the ideals of democracy, that they may be guided to protect and preserve the rights and interests of all citizens of the country. Let us also pray that this webinar is a success and helps in our understanding of the situation around us. Amen.
Very much for invoking God's blessings on this August gathering. It is bad habit to say that another man's thoughts are bad and ours only are good, and that those holding different views from ours are the enemies of the country. These words of Mahatma Gandhi are not only relevant but apt to the present socio-political context. Intolerance is creeping deep into society. The same voices are silenced by threats, intimidation, and arbitrary arrests. On the 8th of October, Father Stanislas Loduswami, SJ, an 83-year-old Jesuit working with the marginalized Adivasis of Jharkhand, was arrested on charges of collaborating with Maoists and influencing the Bhima Koregaon violence. He has always stood for protecting human rights of the Adivasis and upholding democratic values. It's time to stop the culture of impunity and restore democratic values enshrined in a constitution. In this context, we have taken a small step to conscientize the young minds and seek justice for Father Stan Swami by organizing this webinar where we present two fine human rights activists who cherish the values of freedom of expression and thought to share their insights and to enlighten us on the matter at hand. It is my privilege and honor to extend a warm welcome to our esteemed speakers for today, Mr. Ravi Nair and Mr. Jagmohan Singh, on behalf of St. Joseph's Evening College. A warm welcome to you, sirs. Reverend Father Brian Pereira, the rector of St. Joseph's Institutions and the director of St. Joseph's Evening College. Dear Father, your concern for the poor and the marginalized and the passion with which you address the issues of injustice have always inspired us. A warm welcome to you, Father. Dr. Albert Joseph Smith, the principal of St. Joseph's College, Evening College, is a man of vision that is inclusive, compassionate, and kind. A warm welcome to you, sir. It is heartwarming to witness so many participants today. Someone once said, the more focused we are in life, more the impact of our life on others. I am sure what has brought us together today, despite our differences, is a conviction in constitutional values of a country and a commitment to human rights. I hope that we not only feel enlightened by the insights of today's discussion, but also feel enthused to keep up this fight for a better and inclusive society. A warm welcome to one and all. I would like to end this by revisiting the dream of Rabindranath Tagore for India, where the mind is without fear and the head is held high. Into that heaven of freedom, my father, let our country awake. I now invite Dr. Rekha to introduce our esteemed speakers and Dr. Paul Newman, the moderator, to the audience. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. It is indeed my privilege to welcome our esteemed guests for today. Professor Jagmohan Singh, who, with varied experience in documentation, human rights, and Punjab politics, has had a committed life as an activist, political leader, writer, editor, and public speaker. He is the co founder of the Indian People's Human Rights Commission, an active campaigner for Committee for Protection of Democratic Rights and People Union for Civil Liberties in Mumbai in his younger days. He has also taken keen interest in defending religious rights of Sikhs and other minorities. He has also contributed for women's rights in apex Sikh bodies and continues to lobby for more equality among the community. As a speaker on international platforms, he has championed the cause for right to self-determination, abolition of death penalty, among the growing religious intolerance culture in Europe and the world. Since the last decade, he has maintained live contact with human rights causes and political causes from Tamil Nadu to Sri Lanka, from Chhattisgarh to Kashmir, and from Tripura, Nagaland in the Northeast, writing about human rights situations in various parts of the world, where in countries where basic human rights and fundamental rights of people are being denied. Last year, he was a part of protests all around Tripura for rights of the indigenous people there, being the first Sikh activist to touch Tripura soil in 7 decades. He has participated in many conferences in various parts of Tamil Nadu on the identity question, rights of Tamils, no death penalty for Arivu, and others on the death row in the Rajiv Gandhi case, among many more causes and concerns. He takes a keen interest in Tamil affairs and has a live relationship with Tamil social, religious, human rights, and political activists on the language and identity issues of the Tamil people. He presently edits the online portal of the World Sikh News and aspires to set up an international media for religious and ethnic minorities of South Asia. We welcome you, sir, and we are very privileged to have you with us in this program today. Mr. Ravi Nair is the Executive Director of the South Asia Human Rights Documentation Center since October 1990. Sir was the founder member of the Association for Protection of Democratic Rights, established in 1974. He was an executive committee member of the People's Union for Civil Liberties, Delhi State, from 1977 to 1982. He was the trade union coordinator of the Indian section of Amnesty International from 79 to 81. He was also the executive committee member of the Indian section of Amnesty International from 1981 to 83 and the national secretary from 83 to 85. He worked in the International Secretariat in London from 1985 to 89 as the regional liaison officer for the Asia Pacific region and one of its 3 global campaign as one of the three global campaign coordinators. He was a member of the International Executive Committee as well. Mr. Nair was the Ida Beam Distinguished Lecturer at Iowa University, USA in October 2000. He has delivered several lectures and been a part of universities such as the Harvard Law School. Mr. Nair was an international consultant to the Technical Advisory Services Program of the Office of United Nations High Commission for Human Rights in its training programs in Nepal, and has also done workshops earlier in Armenia for the UN human rights mechanisms. He has conducted training workshops in over 30 countries across the world. He has also served on the Curricular Development Committee of the University Grants Commission of India for the teaching of human rights in law schools across India and also abroad. In 1997, Sir was awarded the M.A. Thomas National Human Rights Award for his prodigious work for the protection and promotion of human rights. In January 1985, he was honored by the Sant Longewal and Mr. Surjit Singh Barnala for his humanitarian work during the anti-Sikh riots in Delhi. In November 2009, the 25th anniversary of the 1984 anti-Sikh violence in India, Mr. Nair was felicitated by the Sikh Forum for the humanitarian work carried out by him during that period. He was awarded the Lifetime Achievement Award on 31st of August 2015 from the All India Muslims Majlis-e-Mushawarat. This is the federation of the all Muslim organizations across India. He was recognized for his work for the protection of minorities in India. With regard to refugee rights, Sir has intervened on behalf of the Sri Lankan Tamil refugees, Bhutanese refugees in Nepal, the Juma refugees from the Chittagong hill tracts of Bangladesh, refugees from Burma, and a large number of urban refugees from Afghanistan, Iran, Sudan, Ethiopia, and others under the protection of the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees in New Delhi. He was the first human rights activist to assist Bhutanese refugees in the jungles of Assam when they were fleeing from Bhutan in 1989. On the basis of Sir Ravi Nair's intervention on behalf of the Human Rights Commission, India's National Human Rights Commission, he directed the government of India to release over 43 million Indian rupees, which had been withheld in order to force the Juma refugees to return to Bangladesh by making the camp conditions untenable. Internationally, he has been in the past the South Asian focal point in UNHCR's Partnership in Action program. He has participated as an NGO representative in various executive committee meetings in Geneva to highlight the plight of refugees in South Asia. He has in the past, at the request of Justice P.N. Bhagwati and Justice J.S. Varma, provided inputs in their efforts to enact the draft legislation for the domestic law on refugees. He is presently active in ensuring that Rohingya refugees from Myanmar are not deported arbitrarily without due process of law. Ravi Nair has been arrested numerous times for the civil liberties activities as a result of his active opposition to the emergency also imposed in 1975-76. He was imprisoned under the Defense of India rules. So as we know from his profile, we are amidst a very senior and active member on a world platform. So sir, we are very privileged once again to welcome you also, and we are eager to hear from you today. And lastly, I would like to welcome Dr. Paul Newman, who is a very own senior member of St. Joseph's Institutions. He has been serving as a faculty member here since over 25 years. We are very happy to have him back here with us at our Evening College unit. He is an international observer at the United Nations Human Rights Commission. He is also international observer at the ongoing Catalonian case for self-determination in the Supreme Court of Spain. He has been associated with the Jesuit Refugee Service for over 12 years, among many other accomplishments in both academics as well as in the space of human rights itself. Sir, we welcome you to the webinar and we invite you to moderate the discussion today. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Rekha. Hope I am audible.
Yes, sir, you
So
are.
it's
Thank you.
a momentous task to moderate two extremely well known and towering personalities in the field of human rights. And both of them are very, very dear friends of mine. So my association with Ravi goes back to the years when I was associated with the Jesuit Refugee Service, wherein we had to fight for the rights of the Sri Lankan Tamils who were frequently getting deported from Tamil Nadu. At the same time, I worked very closely with Professor Jagmohan on the issue of the right to self-determination of not just the Tamils but many other groups also. Today's webinar's title, as it goes, asserting our right for democracy. So we need to ask this very basic question as to what type of a democracy are we? Are we a functioning democracy or not? So it is here that when I was just thinking as to what to do in terms of introducing the topic, it just hit me that there is the Global Democracy Index that gets published every year. So I was just going through the last few years' reports. So here, interestingly, I found that India slipped 10 places in the democratic index from 2018 to a period of 2019. Within a span of 1 year, we slipped 10 places. And the major reason given by the Global Democratic Index for India's fall of 10 places is the erosion of civil liberties in India. So when you look at the scaling as to how they calculate the points are calculated on a scale of 10. So India's performance in 2018 was 7.23 points out of 10. In 2019, it reduced from 7.23 to 6.90. So here they evaluate around 165 countries. Sri Lanka stands 69th. Bangladesh stands 80. We stand 55th in the rating. We were 45th. Now we have slipped to 55th place. So they evaluate countries on 5 key areas. The first one is the electoral process and pluralism. So the less said, the better about pluralism, because we every day on a day-to-day basis we get to know of the mob lynchings that takes place, the attacks on the mosques, the attacks on the churches, the attacks on the places of religious worship of the Adivasis and the Dalits. So here, are we a pluralistic country is the question. Then the next one is the next key area of evaluation is the functioning of the government. Is the government really functioning? It's a question which each and every one of us need to answer, because we have a government or do we don't have a government is the question now. Then the next key area is the political participation. How far I am empowered to participate politically? How much of political space do I enjoy? Then the next area is the political culture that is present in the country. Today, Operation Lotus is something very, very common everywhere. Governments come in, governments are simply thrown out. People get elected, and en masse they resign to join another political body just to stay in power and just to gain money. So that is the way our political culture is. The last key area is civil liberties. So today we are discussing on the issue of the unjust arrest of Father Stan Lourdeswamy. He is not alone. There are 8 people, including him. 3 of them, of the 8, I am really proud that of the 8, 3 of them are associated with our Jesuit institutions, Arun Ferreira and Hernan Gonzalez being the other 2 who have been products of St. Xavier's College, Mumbai. So, in that sense, what was the crime of these 8 people, including another person whom I know well, Professor Varvara Rao, a great poet? a man who has stood for civil liberties in India, especially in the rural areas of Andhra Pradesh as well as the Adivasi areas of Andhra Pradesh. So here, a man who is in his late 70s, who is highly diabetic, has been incarcerated. Medicine has been denied to him. Then we have another great professor by the name of Professor Sai Baba. So he is a man who is handicapped. How can this handicapped man be a threat to this mighty nation? Is a question that looms large in our minds. What is the government really doing? So I can go on, but then we are all here to listen as to where our democracy stands from the two experts who are here. So first, I would like to invite Ravi Nair to go ahead, speak for about 20 to 25 minutes. Then we can take a few questions. So once he finishes answering these questions, then maybe Professor Jagmohan can summing up process. We can take up some common questions if time permits.
Freedom of speech and to qualify it by a number of considerations. So that is itself